morning and welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, Trinidad and Tobago is in the top 5 for the Miss Caribbean Culture Queen Pageant. Gabriela Bernard is our representative and she's here to tell us about this pageant and her experience thus far. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Your title is Miss Trinidad and Tobago Carnival Queen. What is this competition all about?
So this competition is all about embracing our local culture, and it's also a means to get me ready for Miss Universe and Miss World, those bigger pageants. So for my reign from 2018 to 2019, I'll actually be going to 8 pageants. I've done 2 already, and I'm looking towards the future for continued success.
How challenging was this particular competition? What were the requirements?
It was so challenging because I'm used to being a model, and as a model, you don't have any expression on your face. You just walk, pose, you come back. But pageantry is so much more than that. You have to have a platform. You have to have an interest in the community and developing the community. You also have to have a talent. And even when you're walking or modeling, you still have to smile and show some personality. It's not high fashion deadness. So it was a huge jump for me, a huge leap. But I'm definitely so grateful for the experience.
Okay, so let's talk about your talent and the community work that you've been involved in.
Yes, so my talent, all the other girls, they were doing like acrobatics with a hoop in the air and dancing and singing. And what I did was a spoken word. I actually entered in the First Citizens Bank National Poetry Slam with 2 Cents Movement this year, and I made it to the semifinals. So I said, let me focus on that talent and make it come through.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came back to Trinidad, I actually started to work with St. Vincent de Paul to give back to less fortunate people.
And who is organizing this, or who is the organizing committee here?
So the organizing committee is the Miss Trinidad and Tobago Carnival Queen Committee. They have been doing pageants for 12 years, sending girls to Antigua for JC's, Nevis for Miss Caribbean Culture, Miss Pan America, Miss Caribbean United, and we've always placed in the top 5 for most of our pageants.
You also entered the Miss JC's, correct?
Yes. So Miss JC's was in Antigua. It was a great experience. It kind of opened me up a bit because I was sort of shy, especially when I had to smile and just like seeing so many people looking at me, and I know that they're judging me, especially being in Antigua. Everyone is just cheering for Antigua, and you have to have this sense of knowing your self-esteem so that you don't crumble and just get shy. But no, it was a great experience. I didn't place, but I met so many great people there.
All right, so you are currently Miss Trinidad and Tobago Carnival Queen, and you said this entails a lot of other pageants.
Yes. So I also went to the Miss Caribbean Culture Queen pageant in Nevis, and I placed in the top 5, and I got best question and answer with my ambassadorial wear. It was like a pan and a hummingbird and the national colors. It was just gorgeous.
Okay, what are some of the other competitions that you're expected to
So the
enter?
next one that I'm going to is Miss Pan America in Los Angeles, California. That is the 15th of October, I believe. And, well, the itineraries for the other pageants are currently being finalized, so I'm not sure as yet, but I know next year, June, I'm going to Miss Venus.
Okay, and what sort of preparations will you be undergoing for all of this?
Well, my mentor, chaperone, she lives in Gasparillo. So I try to go by her as often as I can to do walking and interview questions. It's amazing the types of questions that they will ask you, because everyone thought I was joking when I came back and I told them about my experience. But the final question for Miss Caribbean Culture, they asked, so your friend has been, this is seriously the question, your friend has been paying child support for some time to this lady to take care of your child, and after a paternity test it reveals that he is not the father. Should he be reimbursed for his child support? And literally all the delegates, when they got the question, they were like, what
did you say?
What the hell? So my chaperone told me, at the end of the day you need to be honest, and I gave my honest answer, which was, it's not fair to the man, and if the roles were reversed where, you know, I migrate and I leave my kid with someone and I'm sending money for the kid and you're spending it on other things, or, you know, I would want to be reimbursed for that. So based on that point of view, I said that he should be reimbursed. Now, the trick is, you don't say that in pageants. I realized that after, because they don't want to hear that answer. So Miss Grenada also gave a similar answer to me, and the two of us, we didn't make it to the top 3. And I think it's because we need to be more diplomatic and say, you know, well, it's all about the child, and really twist it, because those sorts of questions, it doesn't really have a correct answer. You have to go like roundabout, tell a story, have a motivational speech in it and everything. So
what are some of the other preparations in terms of your physique, your actual working out regime, your eating?
Yeah, so I have to eat less carbs, more veggies, and I have to work out. I don't take it for granted that I'm slim, because in one of the pictures, it was just like a casual picture, I saw that there was a little dimple on my leg, and I was like, there's no way that I could have cellulite on my body right now. There's no way.
What have been some obstacles regarding sponsorship and funding that you've experienced?
Right, so in terms of funding and sponsorship, my chaperone has basically been paying out of pocket for these expenses, and it's no small expense. It's accommodation, it's flights, it's food. And even though we've approached 50 plus corporations in Trinidad, as well as ministries, we got no support from corporate Trinidad, and we got minimal assistance with the government, like just enough to cover like the plane ticket. But there are other expenses related to that. And it was actually a huge slap in the face, because there are other delegates who are like, yeah, the government gave me 15,000 US, 8,000 US. And it's like, did they now? Did they? And when you really take it in, there are countries smaller than Tobago, which is Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Croix, who are getting government funding. And it's like, why can't Trinidad do that? Even countries smaller than Trinidad, St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they have support from the government. And it's like, I can't say that. Like, yes, you gave me enough for the flight, but there's so much more. There's the dress, there's registration, there's accommodation, transport, food. And it's like, I feel like if we had more financial support, we could do a lot more and make a huger impact. You know, and it was a huge, again, slap in the face, because when I went to Nevis, a local Trinidadian company was a major sponsor for 2 pageants back to back. And it's like, wow, you can't even give financial support to your local delegate, but you could sponsor 2 pageants back to back. That's wild. But you also have to consider, you know, regulations in Trinidad versus in Nevis and what their priorities may be. So I don't want to dwell on it too much. So I am actually looking to host an event in Altitude Nightclub next month at the end of September to raise funds, because it's a lot of financial support that we need right now.
So you spoke about the talent aspect of it. What about the community work? What sort of community work have you been engaged in?
Right, so I recently joined St. Vincent de Paul, and I'm looking into doing an agricultural project whereby I'll start in my own backyard by growing my own plants and vegetables, and I'm looking to go out into neighboring communities, because I live in St. Augustine, Europe, and I know some residents who are in Bangladesh, and they're very, well, not wealthy, but they're poor. So I want to go and start to help those people that I already know and help them grow their own food so that they can feed their families and aspire to a brighter future.
So you mentioned that these competitions are basically a stepping stone for some of the bigger competitions, as you said, such as Miss World and Miss Universe. So that is your ultimate goal, correct?
Yes, it is my ultimate goal, but even if I don't make it or qualify, because there are so many different criteria that needs to be met, I still won't let that get me down. I'll still keep my chin up, still keep aspiring to be the best person that I could be to help change Trinidad like what the guys were saying before me. Like it's about time we stop saying Trinidad, you have to change, and it's about time we say we have to change Trinidad.
All right. And what are your final thoughts?
So my final thoughts are, you know, we are so fortunate to be a developed nation. Trinidad is actually, from what I've seen, Trinidad is like the United States of the Caribbean, because at least we don't pay 30 TT for bread. You know, we were doing groceries and just breakfast items came up to 250 TT. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines was like, oh my gosh, this is so cheap. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, no, it's not. And I think that if we had that realization of how big we actually are and support models like myself, fashion designers, athletes, you know, the people who push the culture, it will be beneficial to everyone, because we are the ones going out there to push the culture. The least that y'all could do is support us. So I would ask for you guys to support me. If anyone wants to reach out to give me financial assistance, you can look me up on Facebook as Gabriella Bernard, the model. You can also email me at gabriella1868@gmail.com or the committee at ttnationalqueen@gmail.com.
Okay, great. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Thank you so much, and
Thank you
best
for
of luck.
having me. Thank you.
We take a short break. A lot more when we return. Stay tuned.